Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. And we're going to get started right away looking at the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. And before we do that, however, I wanted to remind you that tomorrow the traditional markets are going to be closed because of Easter. So we will be having then a long weekend. And in some places in Europe, even also Monday will be closed as far as traditional markets go. But in the US, it's only tomorrow and then, of course, Saturday and Sunday. So just a reminder. And so here on the 4-hour chart, we had what I mentioned already in one, I think yesterday actually, the double bottom here that is followed by a nice breakout, as you can see, that has pushed the price above our EMA line. So this, we talked about it yesterday on our previous video. So this is good news, of course, for the short term. And for the long term, we do have to be able to take out this high or this level here before we can confirm that the downtrend that we formed is officially over. So we have to keep an eye out on that. And of course, when we draw a line here, we can see that even better if we zoom in, or actually if we go back to the 1-hour chart. Here we can see that we are outside of this line. However, we are struggling, or at least fighting to use the 100 EMA line, the blue line, as support. You see how many times we've tested that. Even here, not only we retested that, but we are also testing the 13 EMA line. So it is important that that holds. If we fall through here, then I can see that we go back down to the $40,800 price line. And so long as we stay above $40,000, then everything should be fine. Here, of course, again, we formed this double bottom, which is also a good sign. Yes, the price fell back down a little. We retested this previous low over here. And then we had the price climb quite a bit after that. So that is, again, good news for the short term. Of course, a lot of short liquidations or short positions got liquidated in the process. And right now we are even forming what this, sort of uptrend line over here. We are retesting that. And if we do fall, then again, we might go back to the 50 EMA line to retest the support there. But what's important here is the 100 EMA line, as you can see, giving us over here, for example, a lot of resistance. Even the 50 EMA line also gave us a lot of resistance for the last couple of days. Finally, we find ourselves above the 50, the 13, the 20, and the 100 EMA line also. So those are all pluses. Now on the 4-hour chart for the RSI indicator, we went all the way back down to about 21 points down here. And now, as you can see, which is this point over here, and now you can see that we're starting to climb again into the middle area around 50 points, more or less. So there's a lot of room still above us for us to climb. At some point here we even went to about 80 points, as you can see, which is this high over here on the chart. And so yes, there is a lot of space, a lot of room for us to still climb. Hopefully that means that that's what's gonna happen. Also on the daily chart, we see here a nice bounce in the RSI. I of course don't want to see this go back down to 29 points in this case, because that means we'll go over here to 38,000 and retest that again. So that's not really something I want to see, or none of us, I guess, want to see. And now let's go over and look at the MACD indicator. A lot of people I know use that as well for the chart analysis. So here you can see we're starting to slowly bring these two together, make a switch here. And one thing, of course, here is every time that you see that there's a crossing between these two lines, usually there's a pump in the price. You can see, lots of examples of that here. So it could be, of course, that, it takes us a couple of days, maybe towards the end of the week, before we see a switch and then a rise in the price of Bitcoin. hopefully one that based on some of the signals could bring the price back to $48,000 or even 50,000 US dollars. So that's something, of course, here that we have to pay attention to. But as you can see here, we have all, especially on the daily, we have all of our EMA lines above us as resistance. We were above them for a short period of time, but right now we have all of them above us. That is, the 100, the 20, the 13, the 50, the 200 EMA lines. So we have to pay attention and see what happens there. Now, another thing to also keep in mind is that today, again, the Federal Reserve of the United States is going to have a press conference. It is expected, or at least there's some speculation, that they're going to leave or they're going to make a change in their plan that they had up until now, that was raise the interest rates 3 times throughout the year. And it could be that they say, well, no, we're not going to do that anymore, because that way, we might we can cause a crash in the traditional markets. So it could be that if they say that and they just leave things as it is, then of course that could influence what happens to the traditional markets, what happens to the cryptocurrencies, and especially because, again, tomorrow it's going to be a holiday. Then it will be interesting to see what happens throughout the weekend and what happens on Monday again, when in the US they open back. For the crypto fear and greed index, 28 points is what we have today. That it's a rise of 3 points. So we're still inside that 20 and 30 range. And here now for the liquidations, we have, of course, a lot of positions, short positions that got killed in the last hours. This is, of course, displaying the numbers for the periods of 15 minutes. And so you have a lot of, like for example here, 5 million, 4.1 million, 3 million, 3 million, $7 million worth of liquidations. Also here you can see how most of what we see here as far as liquidation is short positions. And so this is what I was mentioning yesterday in one of the videos. That's why it's important that you guys subscribe to the channel, that you hit the notification bell, and that you like our videos, because I mentioned this precisely, that what the market makers are doing, that for them it would be more profitable to now push the price upward, so they can trigger all this stop loss positions for or stop losses for the short positions. So very, very interesting, of course, and something that we always have to pay attention to. And then there's this graphic that I wanted to share with you guys. I talked about this yesterday, in the live stream. So for those of you who were not there, let's just go over it very quickly. And this is, of course, a comparison of the markets in 2020 and 2022 for Bitcoin. We have here the different touch points that are similar to how the market behaved. At that time, you have, of course, the rise in the price, then it goes back down with 3 more touch points. Same thing here on the right, 1, 2, 3, and 4 touch points. And then, of course, after that, you have what it could be the rise in the price. Now here, if we are looking at this on the daily, this is what this is, then we can say here on the right, we do have more than 4 touch points. This would be the 5th one. So there are some comparisons there to be made. But it's just something interesting to look at. Also with the RSI indicator, which is illustrated here at the bottom, you have also these crossings of what it would be the uptrend at the bottom in green, plus the downtrend or resistance line here at the top in red, and then this crossing or this touch point here. Here also you can see that we have 1, 2, 3 touch point only, and over here on the left we have 1, 2, 3, 4 touch points already, plus 1, 2 over here on the top on the resistance, and we only have really just 1 here on the right. So anyway, the reason why people look at this is because they can then try and draw comparisons as to how the market behaved then and how it is behaving now. So I'm interested to hear from you guys what you think, if this is something that is worth looking at. And finally, now let's go over to Ethereum on the 4-hour chart, where we have, of course, this downtrend line or resistance line here on the white. Let's go ahead and clean this up a little. And and let me go back and reset that over here. Okay, so again, we have this downtrend line or resistance line that let me go ahead and adjust it a little so that it looks, it makes more sense for the analysis. So here we have the different touch points, much better. And so again, we have been rejected for by this line already. You see, we still have to be able to break through it before continuing a move and retest then the resistance for the 100 and 200 EMA line. Could be that we do get rejected here and go back down to $3,000 before seeing a proper bounce in the price. So, you know, that remains to be seen. Of course, that depends on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin, you know, goes up, then I can see also Ethereum moving back into the $3,400 dollar level. So yeah, here again, it all depends. We can even draw here this falling wedge, but again, I don't really pay attention to patterns right now. Here, the important thing is that we break through this resistance line, then we'll have a retest and finally continue moving upward. That would be the best case scenario for Ethereum. But nonetheless, things are looking also solid here for this coin. Anyway, that's all that I prepared for you guys today. Hope that you liked it. Of course, tomorrow it's a holiday, so I wish you a happy Easter. And you will still, however, receive an update for tomorrow. My name is Basti. Have a great day. Bye-bye.